Hello and welcome to Headcanon Fodder, a collection of musings, theories, and random stuff about media. This time, Regeneration and the Timeless Child. One of my favourite things to theorise about in Doctor Who is Regeneration, because it's so ill-defined, but you can infer so much about it that it's perfect for theorising. And I have some ideas, so let's get going. Okay, so why do the Doctors, except Gatwa, have a single distinct style? Well, the Christmas invasion revealed that post-Regeneration, the Time Lord is still fizzling until they hit the 15-hour mark. The process is continuing, and that's why he could regrow his hand. So what if previous Doctors chose clothing before the 15-hour mark, and then it crystallized as a preference when that mark passed? This would also explain why Time Lords and Gallifrey all dress alike. We see multiple types of Time Lord robes over the course of the show, but only for one sort at a time. What if post-Regeneration a Time Lord is dressed in the robes that are currently in fashion, and so they want to wear them? This also explains why we rarely see Time Lords and Gallifrey in quote-unquote normal, everyday clothing, even if they're not in duty. And also explains the Master's kind of consistent looks. Beyond the, frankly, pretty silly bit in the Christmas invasion, is there any evidence that Regeneration continues for a while after the light show? Yes, there is. Romana tried on several different looks in a single Regeneration, but she could just be unusually talented. Beyond that, we have the phenomena of the Doctor's mind regenerating at a different speed than his body. This isn't so common, but the best example is Spearhead from Space, where we can actually see the newly regenerated 3 look at his new face, be horrified, and then begin to like it as 2's mind becomes 3's.
Oh no, that's not me at all. Oh, that face. That hair. Well, I don't know though. I think it's rather distinctive, actually.
This lines up with a theory I talked about in my video Time Lords, Gender and Regeneration, where I argue that regeneration includes a bit of benevolent brainwashing to force the person to accept and like their new self, to avoid the possibility of suicide or burning through regenerations to find one they can live with.
A noble brow.
Anyway, there's also the newly regenerated 10 looking in the mirror at the end of the Christmas invasion. He doesn't look too impressed. This is total theory, but I think 9 and 10 had an adventure together, and 9 hated 10. And what we're seeing there is 9 resigning himself to becoming 10 in the last moments of his existence. Anyway, so why does Gatwa's 15 not have a preferred look? Simple, he spent his first couple of hours half-dressed and didn't get dressed until after the 15-hour mark passed, leaving him with no particular style that he's wedded to, so he changes it up. The only problem I can see with this theory is 11, with his change of look partway through from his short brown jacket to the purple frock coat. But something similar happened to 4 when he adopted a longer jacket, so maybe the look isn't as detailed and exact as we might think. Or maybe, when the Doctor chooses the clothing, impacts how wedded they are to keeping that exact look. Like maybe someone closer to 15 hours has more leeway in breaking from their template. 4 and 11 both chose their clothing after a bit of a delay, and so did 12, who also liked to change his clothing up. While 2, who almost never changed, literally regenerated into his outfit. Anyway, another possibility is that maybe over time the wish to dress in that style degrades someone in the Doctor's mind, becoming less distinct, allowing them more freedom as they get older. 11's outfit change was the most extreme, so another possibility is that it was a bit of low-level self-harm. He was very down when he made his initial change to the Victorian look with the hat. And after the snowman he adapted it slightly to the purple version that was slightly closer to his original look, meaning he wasn't punishing himself quite as much. Anyway, on to another thought about regeneration. This one's kind of long, gets a bit weird. I think there's a finite amount of possible incarnations, and that these incarnations are whole and complete. That body, that rough personality. It's not a character creator with a randomized button. There's a lot of possibilities that are already created. That when a regeneration is triggered automatically, as tends to happen to the Doctor, he either gets assigned one at random, or more likely, his subconscious and previous experiences decide on what type he's going to get. For instance, 10 is younger and southern to appeal to Rose, 4 is into wanderlust after his experience being exiled to Earth, 6 is a reaction to 5 being dominated, 12 wanted a total break and a new start, and so became a woman.
Oh, Berlin.
Of course, that automatic process can be derailed, Romana choosing Princess Astra's likeness, and 11 subconscious, choosing to borrow Caecilius' appearance for 12. But usually a Time Lord will get one of probably billions of potential preloaded templates. But how template are these templates? Well, we could look at Chancellor Goth from The Deadly Assassin and Time Lord 1 from the War Games. Same actor, same personality. But they might be the same character, we don't know. So instead, let's take a look at Commander Maxwell from Arc of Infinity. He's not only played by Colin Baker, but personality-wise, he is very similar to Sex. So either 5 chose to copy him for some reason, or they both use the same template. And I tend to go with the latter. Think about it this way, the mind or the soul or the distinct essence of a Time Lord is a light, and the incarnations are different coloured and patterned shells around it. The Doctor's light is, say, blue, and Maxwell's light is green. Put them in the same deep purple lantern, and the resulting light experience by everyone else is very similar, but not identical. Hell, this can be dovetailed into the Curator. The Doctor is just reaccessing previously used pre-existing templates.
But just the old favourites, eh?
I'm assuming that Colin Baker in Tales from the TARDIS is the Curator, because he's clearly the Curator.
You got old.
And bigger. And beardier. Oh, time marches on, Perry, even for a Time Lord. It really has no respect. The TARDIS never forgets. And neither did I.
Maybe they regenerated older, or maybe they regenerated young and lived a long time, but it really doesn't matter. If they did regenerate old, they just reused the template and it took into account how old the Doctor feels, resulting in the older Curator. Hell, this also explains the 2 separate, very similar Derek Jacobi masters in Scream of the Shalka and Utopia. And hey, maybe the Watcher, as seen in Logopolis, is an external representation of that internal self, which wears these identities. Anyway, all this brings me to the final part of my theory, which I'm not personally fond of because it's a timeless child, but it works with the information given. It really works, and I think it kind of improves the timeless child idea. What if the timeless child's ability to regenerate isn't a normal part of that species' biology? What if the species created the timeless child as a living arc for their people? The appearance and personality of everyone in their species was downloaded into the timeless child, and every time a Time Lord regenerates, they, on some level, are assuming the identity of a long-dead person. The person's appearance, preferences, and much of their personality became the lantern that covers the internal light of the Time Lord who just regenerated. And there are millions of those people that they can become. Obviously, I'm not talking about regenerations where someone regenerates to mimic a particular person. The choice there is bypassing these preloaded templates. So, why did the Timeless Child's people do this? Why did they create them? Honestly, I think they were dying. It was a last-ditch effort to save their race, and they intended for the Timeless Child to somehow be sacrificed to recreate themselves. A plan that was derailed when Tecteun found the Timeless Child by the portal. But it's a plan that could be used as a future plot device if the show really wanted to get fucked up. Anyway, do I have any extra evidence about this? Kinda. In the flashbacks to the Timeless Child, we get no idea about their personality. They seem to have no agency and just go with Tecteun and accept her experiments without complaint. What if the Timeless Child was created without a will, without a true identity of their own, meaning that who the Doctor became is the direct result of their choices, their experiences, much in the same way the Doctor's name wasn't bestowed, but chosen. Of course, another possibility is that the Doctor's drive to save people is a simple twisting of their original purpose, to save his people. Anyway, that's about it. If you enjoy these videos, please consider liking, subbing, ringing a bell, or becoming a patron at patreon.com/DiamandaHagan. There you can get early access, request videos, see patron exclusives, join the Discord, and check out the rewards. If you're already subbed or a patron, thank you so much for the support. If not, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for the time. Apologies for the quality of my voiceover, I know it's terrible. And please, feel free to leave a comment. YouTube likes it when you talk.